Holy smokes, that coyote was way closer than anyone expected, the kind of close that makes your heart jump before your brain can catch up, because we were hunting in some seriously thick sagebrush where visibility is limited and reactions have to be instant, and this coyote came slipping in quiet and fast, no hesitation at all, closing the distance to what had to be 5 yards from the collar, practically in our laps. And the second we realized how close he was, we were already on him, eyes locked, adrenaline pumping. He looked right at me like he knew something was wrong, spun and took off, and instinct took over, the shot breaking almost on its own, rolling him right there in the brush, no more than 15 yards away, one of those moments you don't even believe until you walk up and see it with your own eyes, literally standing there saying, look at this, check him out, that's as close as it gets. And the action didn't stop there, because right after that we crushed a double and Holly was right in the middle of it, with that first coyote coming in right in front of us at maybe 25 or 30 yards, close enough to see every movement, and as we were locked in on that one, I caught another coyote slipping in out of the corner of my eye, trying to hang back, trying to play it safe, and I told Josh straight up, I'm taking this one, hit that pup distress, bring the other one in, and sure enough the sound flipped and that second coyote committed, coming hard, stopping just long enough at around 245 yards, and that was all it took, folded him up clean, another stand ending with both coyotes down. Then again the rhythm continued because another coyote came charging in, maybe 75 yards out, circling the setup, trying to wind us, reacting to the Night Stalker Plus, and before he could make sense of what he was hearing he was already done, smoke, lights out, another predator down in the sage. And then came the moment with the new rifle when I smoked that coyote with the new ARMS .243, a clean shot at roughly 150 yards, one of those shots that feels perfect the second it breaks. Coyote down, no drama, just execution, and hearing the guys behind you saying crushed him, awesome shot, makes it even better. It was one of those hunts where everything just kept lining up, stand after stand, sound after sound, two more coyotes coming in on the next setup, the first one pushing in close to about 50 yards before dropping right there, and the second one bolting, trying to escape, thinking he was outsmarting us until I switched sounds on the Night Stalker Plus again, pulling him right back in, watching him commit from distance. Easing back to around 300 yards, holding just a touch for wind, settling the crosshairs dead center of the chest, and dropping him where he stood, a perfect example of why the .243 is such an incredible caliber for predator hunting, flat, fast, and absolutely devastating on coyotes. By the end of it, standing there looking over the ground we'd covered, the coyotes we'd called, and the shots we'd made, it was impossible not to smile because hunts like this don't happen by accident, they come from preparation, teamwork, good calling, and knowing when to slow down and when to act fast, and that's why we do it, why we're out here helping livestock, helping wildlife, and even protecting those little fluffy pets back home, doing real predator management the right way. So if you're watching along, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because this is what it's all about. Coyotes down. Another unforgettable day in the field. The wind had started to pick up just enough to make every stand feel different, and that's when things get really interesting because wind doesn't just move sound, it moves confidence, and you could tell the coyotes were still out there, still hungry, still responding, but now they were trying to use that breeze to their advantage, circling wider, hanging up longer, testing the setup, and that's where patience and teamwork came into play, watching the downwind side like a hawk, communicating. Quietly, adjusting volume just a touch, and then it happened again, a coyote ghosting in through the sage, barely visible, stopping just long enough to confirm what he thought he heard, and that was the moment everything slowed down, crosshairs steady, breath controlled, and the shot broke clean, folding him where he stood, another predator down, and almost instantly another one showed himself farther out, unsure, pacing, stopping, starting, trying to decide whether to commit or bail, and instead of rushing it, we let the call do the work, easing him closer step by step until he crossed that invisible line where there was no going back, and just like that, another clean shot, another coyote down, and you could feel that rhythm again, that rare stretch where every decision lines up and every stand feels alive. It was one of those moments where you step back and realize how stacked the day had become, how many things had gone right, not because of luck, but because of experience, good calling, and knowing the ground, moving into one last thick section where visibility was tight and reactions had to be fast. Setting the collar, settling in, and within minutes movement caught our attention. Coyote slipping in low, using every bit of cover he could find, closing distance fast and before anyone could even say a word, he was already there, inside that danger zone, forcing a quick decision, a quick shot, and he went down hard, ending the stand just as suddenly as it started, and standing there afterward, catching our breath, laughing a little, replaying the moment. You could feel that deep satisfaction that only comes from days like this, days where everything you practice for actually happens, where the calling works, the shots connect, and the purpose is clear, helping ranchers, protecting wildlife, and doing real predator control the right way. And as the sun dipped lower and the gear got packed up, it was obvious this wasn't just another hunt, it was one of those days that sticks with you, one you talk about later, one you build stories around, and one more reason to keep coming back out there, because when it all comes together like this, there's nothing else quite like it.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.